Hi everyone and welcome to Unfife's Library's Library. My name's Niamh and welcome to Cardenden Library and a very happy Roald Dahl Day to you all. So I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things Roald Dahl, and I will try my best to keep it a bit short and sweet for you all. So without further ado. So Roald Dahl was born in Llandaff, which is near Cardiff, which is in Wales. And he was born on the 13th of September 1916, and he went on to become one of the most famous children's authors of all time. So after he finished school, he went on to become a fighter pilot with the RAF during World War II, and he was his plane crashed in the middle of North Africa. So this whole bit of his life is in part of two of his books. So his whole time at school and his time as a pilot is part of his two books, which are autobiographies but for kids, which are called Boy and Going Solo, which I don't have one of, but they are amazing books and they're a great way to start reading autobiographies if you've never read one before. So after he'd been after he'd been in active service as part of the RAF, he was invalided home due to the plane crash, and he ended up working as an intelligence agent, which you guys will probably know as a spy. And he worked with a man called Ian Fleming, who's actually the author of the James Bond books, who has to be the world's most famous spy. And we'll come back to him in a little second. So then he got married and started a family. And one of the interesting things about Roald Dahl, which I didn't know until recently, was that his son Theo was in an accident and ended up contracting something called hydrocephalus. That's it. And Roald Dahl wanted to do something to help his son, and he ended up helping to invent something which is called the Roald Dahl Till valve, to help his son and so many children since then, and it was done in partnership with Great Ormond Street. So after he'd worked a bit as a writer for newspapers, and he'd been a spy. Roald Dahl started to write films. He was a screenplay writer for two very famous films by someone that he had worked with previously. So the two films that he wrote the screenplays for was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and You Only Live Twice. You Only Live Twice is a James Bond film, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was also written by Ian Fleming. He then went on to pen a very famous TV series that your parents might remember, grandparents maybe, which was called Roald Dahl's Tales of the Unexpected, which was quite spooky and it's not for the faint-hearted. But then we come on to his books. Roald Dahl started, after writing screenplays, started writing books for children. So I have a selection here. Now, I'm in Cardenden Library at the moment, which is one of the smallest libraries in Fife. And I still have a big pile like this to show you guys. So, this is one of his most famous books and the one that was first made into a film. This is Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The first film made there's two for this one, was called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and starred Gene Wilder, and it was then remade in the early 2000s with Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka. So we have that one, and then I don't know if I have a copy of it. I don't, Oh, I have it on audiobook. So we also have loads and loads of Roald Dahl's books on CDs. So if you don't want to read the physical book, we have lots of lovely CDs. So this is Charlie and the Great Grass Elevator. This is a sequel, the only sequel he ever wrote, to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And it is really interesting, and not a lot of people have actually read it, I don't think. So we have them. We have Easy Trot, which is a nice short one. These are great if you're just starting out. If you're maybe in the younger years of primary school. Roald Dahl's shorter books like this. There's also, let's see, oh, here's a different copy of Easy Trot. There's also Fantastic Mr. Fox, which has also been made into film. Easy Trot was recently made into a film with Dustin Hoffman and Judi Dench. Fantastic Mr. Fox is it's an animated film, but it's clear realistic, and it's got George Clooney as the voice of Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is my favourite of the shorter books. This is The Magic Finger, and I love this book. It is so good. This has never been made into a film as such, but there is an animated version of it which you can probably find online, which was done at the same time as The Enormous Crocodile, which is another great Roald Dahl book, and also the adaptation of his short story collections, which I don't have any of here unfortunately, which are called Dirty Beasts and Revolting Rhymes. And Revolting Rhymes were also made into another TV series a couple of Christmases ago by the BBC. What else have I got? I have this one, which is Danny, Champion of the World. This is a great book, especially if you're getting you boys into reading. And all the illustrations in all of Roald Dahl's books are done by the amazing Quentin Blake. And there's pictures on almost every page. Let me show you that. And this again was made into a film. What else do I have? I have James and the Giant Peach. Now, I've got something else to tell you all about James and the Giant Peach. So, James and the Giant Peach has also been made into a film, but recently, due to us being in lockdown, Taika Waititi, who is the director of a recent film called Jojo Rabbit, but one that you'll probably heard of, which is the third Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok, and he will also be directing Thor Love and Thunder and a new Star Wars movie. He got together with some of his friends to read this book aloud on the Roald Dahl, the World of Roald Dahl YouTube channel, and it is amazing. There's lots of famous faces. There's Taika Waititi himself. There's Ryan Reynolds. There's Chris Hemsworth, the Duchess of Cambridge, Eddie Redmayne, who's in the Fantastic Beasts films. There are loads and loads of very, very famous people that read this book all for free on YouTube, and it's a great adaptation of it. What else have I got? I've got George's Marvelous Medicine on CD here. Is that upside down? It's a bit upside down. So we have George's Marvelous Medicine, but I feel like Gordon is going to be telling you guys all about that one because it's his favourite. I then have this one on its CD counterpart, which is the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant, and this also has two films made out of it. There is an animated one with David Jason and a more recent one that was directed by Steven Spielberg. This is great. There's also a version that has been translated into Scots, a bit like the Gruffalo, and the whole book has been translated into Scots. This is the second to last one that I have. I have The Witches. So The Witches is great, also quite scary, and it has back in the 90s it was made into a film with Angelica Houston, and it is getting a revamp, and they are remaking this one, and it is coming out at some point next year. Now I had to bring this one from home. This is my copy of Roald Dahl's The BFG, Matilda and George's Marvellous Medicine, and I brought this one in because here at Cardenden we do not have a copy of Matilda, and Matilda is my favourite Roald Dahl book. I think I've read it like 20 times. It's so good. There's also an amazing film that was directed by Danny DeVito and starring Mara Wilson that I have watched hundreds and hundreds of times. It's so good. I'm purposely not giving a lot away because these books are excellent in their own right. I think I've managed to catch everyone that has a film. There are more books that I could probably, let's see. Oh no, maybe I have. The Giraffe, the Pelly and Me, that's another great one, and you can often find that one in the Kinder boxes for younger readers. And the Twits, how could I forget the Twits? That is my dad's favourite. The Twits is so funny. Roald Dahl's books are really ingenious. They are all about kids like you guys, and often getting a one-up on the adults, which obviously is amazing. So this is my first video of 3. So do check back because I will do another video all about the Roald Dahl Funny Prize and books that, if you have read all of these, which I assume quite a lot of you might have, somewhere else to go that is quite similar, books that are just as great and as funny as Roald Dahl managed to make his. The other thing I would like to say is that not only have Roald Dahl's books been made into films and TV shows, they have also been made into musicals. So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has been adapted into a musical, and so has Matilda. And Matilda, the music is all by Tim Minchin. They are both amazing visually shows. They sound amazing. So you could also check those out because their albums are all available online. So yeah, check back soon. And enjoy your Roald Dahl day, however you might spend it. I will be reading Matilda. Bye guys.